Lucien's going to take your temperature. Okay. I'm streaming. Okay, we got a little, we're taking temperatures before we come in, so we're running a couple of seconds behind. All right, Nan's coming in. So we're doing the Tai Chi Paradigm this morning in 108 movement forms. So anyone that's following, you would know that we're starting off the shoulder width stance, hands up like this, ready, turning. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nan, you can stand over here. Over here is fine. Over here. You don't have to go behind. You can go over here. Yeah. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and stop. Okay, bend to the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. So, Lucia, maybe a few people might be coming. Who knows? 1, 2, 3 to your right. 2, 3 to your left. 2, 3. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3 to your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, hands on your waist. Let's go circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center, cross, kneecaps, circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Hands on your waist. Neck turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, and stop. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Tilt to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center, rotating, 1, 2, 3. Reverse, 1, 2, 3. Hands up, pull in, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay. Spread your feet, turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Okay, we're going to stretch it out. Turn to your either the right or left leg, depending. This mirror image, so you're opposite what I'm doing, unless you're facing the same direction. Switch. Switch. Switch, straighten the front knee. Switch. 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 Okay, center. All right, shake it out. So nothing too extreme in the stretching, so keep it light. Hands up, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, hands in your waist, circular movements, work your shoulders, get the tension out of the upper back, shoulder girdle. And reverse. And center. Okay. Press, release, exhale, inhale. Breathe through your nose, tongue touching the roof of your mouth. Hands up, pull in, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, wrists, circular movements. Okay, reverse. And center. Okay, palms down. Bigger circle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, shake it out. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Hands in your waist. Let's shift from side to side. Just get the hips more relaxed. Slowly shifting. Feel the center of gravity shift over. Feel the soles of your feet change in pressure. Because when you shift over, you feel the pressure in the soles of your feet. So that's really your body weight. Once you shift enough, then the other foot will move, and then you can lift your leg, and then you go to the other side. Shift, balance, and if we lift the hand with the leg, we got the golden cockroach stands on one leg. So we just practice balancing, relaxed as possible. And down. Okay, now we're going to turn, face the mirror. We're going to do the leg swing. So we're going to opposite side, and then reverse, and keep it going. Okay, center switch. center. Okay, side to side. And center. Opposite direction, other side. And center. Okay, shake it out. Hands up. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so grilling. So I'll face this way. Hold the ball. I'm going to go forward and back. Continuous motion. Okay, switch. Okay, center. I'm going to open and close. Okay, center switch. Center, circular movements, feet parallel, feet shoulder width. Okay, lower hoop. Rounding out the elbows, cup the shoulders. Shoulder height. Elbows down. Knees are still slightly bent, relaxed, chin tucked in slightly. Okay, lower the hands. Straighten the arms, lift the body, lift the spine, straighten the knees. Extend, fingertips pointing down. Okay, hands up. Pull in, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, diagonal flying. So these are slanting up 45 degrees, leading toward the front or the forward leg. Okay, let's switch the other side. Do a few on each side. These are postures in the form. Okay, good. Next we do a set of cloud hands, just the upper body without the without the footwork. Just turn from corner to corner. Track your hands. Okay, palms down. Lower hoop. Carry tiger to the mountain. Infinity sign. Okay, good. Form the fist and punch. Okay, next we're going to do center triangle, strumming the lute. So this is your vertical elbow. That means elbows pointing down. It's a triangle position. You have left and right side neutral position or strum the lute position. It's also an on guard position, sort of ready position. Okay, separate the hands, thumbs up right, palms together, alternate the shoulders. Okay, center, switch. Thumbs up, other side. And center. Now we're going to extend the triangle, turn to the side, draw the bow. Turn to the side, draw the bow. Okay, good. Cross the hands, spread the feet. So this is fan through the back. Okay, raise the hand. And palms down. Okay, deep breathing, hands up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, so because this is live streaming, I teach the linear form as well as do the regular form. So have you done any have you done the linear form there? So we're going to go through the whole form using the mirrors kind of to find the postures. So first movement is preparation. So we're in the shoulder width stance. Preparation. And we step up on the left and press forward. We sit back and twist step, step through. We're on the right side. We flip the elbows, go to the other side. Now we're on the right side. Right side grasp the sparrow's tail. So what we're doing is just identifying the postures, just like grasp the sparrow's tail. Turn to the corner, hook your wrists, and move to the 45. Step out. Here's your single whip right side. We hold the ball, go through center, lower the hand, go through center, and lift. Okay, hold the ball. Then we shift over. Here's your next position, diagonal flying. Here's your next position. So we just do the postures in order, but we want to use the mirror as a reference to see how it looks. Okay, so here's the raising the hand, bend from the waist, stork flaps wings. Okay, and relax. Now we toe up again, toe out, and then step up. Now you're on your left side. We're going to do brush knee right side. Brush knee right side again. Then we sit back, round out on the left. That's horizontal elbow. Turn out, step through. Here's your third brush knee and push left. Vertical position. Go back to the right side. And we're going to do 1, brush knee to complete the brush knee movements. That's the fourth one. Now we go back to center, neutral. Okay. Turn to the right, back to center. This is strum the lute and step up the shoulder width, close the door. Form the fist, and we punch. Sit back, divert, block, and punch. Now we cross the arms for leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Okay. Let's go back to neutral. Turn, fist under elbow. Neutral position. Repulse the monkey. We're going to go backwards, straighten the back foot, reverse the stance, sit back, go forward, reverse the stance. Okay, that's your third repulse the monkey. Then we're in the neutral right side. We hold the ball, and typically we step forward, and we would do a diagonal flying. Okay, so the diagonal flying you would see is actually like this, although in the form we're looking like this, okay? Then we sit back, insert the needle, then we step up, fan through the back. So you would look like this from the side view. From the front view, you would be like this, just like in the drills, okay? Now, we take this position and step up with the right foot. We form the fist, drop down, bring this hand to the elbow, invert the hand, sit back, turn to the side, open the hand on the left so that you have a space to go up through the middle and then drop it into the forward leg position. All right. So then we form the fist and we step up. Now we're on the left side. We divert, block, and punch, cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs the mountain. Okay, so let's face this direction now. Okay, we're over here. Now we're going to carry tiger to the mountain, and this is going to take us to the left side movements. And then we face the mirror, and we cross the left hand on the outside. Raise the left hand, bend from the waist. Now this is stork flaps wings left side. We step up, go to the left side, grasp the sparrow's tail. And we hook the wrist, turn toward the left, and we open the stance for single whip. Hold the ball, flip the hands over, adjust the right foot for the diagonal flying. Okay, now we sit back, okay, and we stroke down and hold the ball. Then we do a pot the horse's mane. If we step up again and we change hands, we would stroke down, bring the hand over the top, pot the horse's mane. Okay, so let's face the front again. So let's do the pot the horse's mane on the left side like this. Okay, now we step up, stroke down, hold the ball, pot the horse's mane. Now the front foot's going to cross over. So we walked into the 45-degree corner, and we do the Jade Lady Work Shuttle. Now we cross over again. So this is called Jade Lady Work Shuttle, left and right side. Now drop the elbow, hook your wrist, move this 45-degree corner, open the stance, single whip. The hands go down on the left side, right side goes down. Cloud hands. 1, So we just do 2 pairs of movements, left and right, left and right. Then we go back to single whip. Then we hold the ball again, and we reverse the ball, and the left foot moves. Hands out like this. We can step back and close the form. Okay, deep breathing. So for most people, the biggest challenge when you're watching video, because following the form when it's mapped out is very tricky unless you have numerous cameras, because you lose track of what it is. Then if I do the form facing the camera, it's backwards. So what I try to do is get familiar with the back side of following someone. Then when we see it, we still have the mirrors to give you the mirror reference. Because even though I can face you and do the mirror image, it's still confusing if you're doing the mapped out form. So for teaching and for also practicing yourself to identify the posture, each posture is one unit. So if you take the unit and practice it over and over again, eventually you'll begin to get familiar with it. So, the form is a sequence, but what I just did was the sequential order, all facing in this direction. So when we're in a neutral position, we begin to see that. Now, if you're a new learner and you're doing this, you don't actually know what you're looking like because you're always looking at somebody else. So unless your body or you're very, used to following, moving, and mimicking exactly, you don't actually see yourself. So when we're in a neutral position, you have your center line, and then you have your forward position. So what's really common is the neutral position, which is the vertical elbow, and this forward leg position. So there again, in the beginning, a lot of people can't really reference which side is which because they haven't heard or been told that the left side leg with the toe up is the left side hand up on the front side. It's the upper hand. Now, if I switch feet, here's my right side. So that happens in the beginning of the form. And then here's your horizontal elbow. So horizontal elbow is half a hoop. When we go like this and press, and we roll back and push, you have your grasp the sparrow's tail. And then single whip typically faces the mirror in a horse stance, feet 45 degrees, and you're like this. So this hand draws across and opens. This hand goes to center. So you find your triangle, and then you lower the hand. You find your triangle, which is this, half a triangle, and then you lift the elbow so you create the rounding. Okay. Now, depending which side is down is the side you go up, right? So if you reverse the ball, then this side is the side that goes up. So that's really like patterns of movement and defining and getting to recognize that the lower hand goes up and the upper hand goes down. So those are just motions that we get familiar with over time, and then we just kind of build off of that. So then the other thing is shoulder width stance. When we're in the 90-degree position and hands on the waist like this, and we pivot 1, 2, that's your shoulder width stance. When we pivot on the ball of the foot and then spin, that's a 90-degree turn from the front position. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that transition typically happens when you're in stork flaps wings and you're going to turn in this direction. If you were turning in this direction, you would go this way, and that would be the mirror image to set up your left side. So we took it from here, grasp the sparrow's tail right side, and then finish the push, hook your wrist. Now we turn back to the front and create a similar position, a single whip. So there's a transition there. Then we toe out and turn the opposite way, and we do the left side grasp the sparrow's tail. And then we go forward and hook your wrist, and we turn back to the center. We look in the mirror, and we can see that the hand draws across to create the single whip. Now, if we were to hold the ball, that's what would happen. But because we're just doing the two postures, right and left side, we just have to cycle through to do each side as a drill. So a lot of times when you're new at this, you don't actually know how to practice this. So this sets up a format so you can practice your grass to sparrow's tail, right and left side. So while we're doing that as a drill, when you get to the long form, you would realize that you have the 180-degree turn in the obliques for the grass to sparrow. So you're already getting that into your system. Now, let's go back to that side. Okay. All right. So this is the vertical. Now, if we were to do brush knee, we would set up the round out on the opposite side, turn to your left, and then brush down and push. Now let's go back to the right side. Now we go forward, and we turn, and we turn, and here's your brush knee and push. So we have the 180-degree turn, breaking it down into two segments instead of making a full turn. Just get your legs working so that you're more familiar with pivoting and controlling that toe-heel relationship. So this is brush knee, right and left side. So these postures, these two postures come in pairs, right and left. Right? And then we're back to center. And then we go forward. And if we turn to the front, we could be like this. Okay. If we adjust the feet and we step up on the right side, now we're on the left side brush knee and push. So now we're going to do a twist step going forward with the same hand movement. We're going to toe out, step through, and we brush knee and push. Okay, so this is, the other was a 180-degree turn. This is brush knee to the right. And then we sit back to neutral, half round, toe out, step up, turn to the left because the elbow is on the left side. That's rounded out. If we go to the right side and we go forward, this elbow determines which side we turn. So that becomes brush knee. Okay, so that's a couple of drills that does grass to sparrow's tail and brush knee. So, doing the form one time really just is a sequential memory. It doesn't help you build, the posture. You have your grass to sparrow's tail and brush knee, which is essential postures because they happen a lot in the forms. And then you have the pot the horse's mane, and you have cloud hands and so forth that are also, pretty consistent in all the forms. Diagonal flying is one of those, and pot the horse mane. Now, when we're here and strum the lute, this is the vertical, that's a setup. Anytime we're in the right foot position, we have this side up. Anytime we're in the left foot position, we have this side up. Okay. What happens with the round out varies based on whether it's grass the sparrow's tail or pot the horse's mane or jade lady work shadow. These are transitions. This would go to, say, a press to grass the sparrow's tail or back to neutral and jade lady work shuttle. So that happens on the same side. Now if I step up and I switch hands, which is a transition, I go forward, I have the option, grass the sparrow's tail, jade lady work shuttle, or we can twist step and go to brush knee. You see, so that setup is kind of a real fundamental to get you from vertical to horizontal. Then holding the ball, that's a fundamental or position, start position for diagonal flying, part the horse's mane, reversing the ball, diagonal flying, or part the horse's mane, which almost looks alike, right? And then single whip is a setup to transition to hold the ball and diagonal flying, or to reversing, passing through this to closing. Okay, so reversing the ball, the whole idea of reversing the ball is to get into the direction that you're going to do the diagonal flying in, depending. Because the lower hand is the one that goes up, and the upper hand is the one that goes down. So that's just, getting it clear to you, so you're not as confused when you're first learning these movements. But you know all these movements, but then we know them by doing it. We don't really think as much about it, because the more you understand it, as you analyze the posture, then your understanding for the transition, the relationship in the body starts to become more clear. Whereas someone that's just learning the sequence ends up just mimicking the movement with no idea what they're actually doing, just trying to get through the form. But the real goal is to get the form memorized, so you house those movements as a book of movements, so you can draw off of them as part of the practice. Now, if you didn't have the form, how would you memorize 37 different postures? You would memorize them not in the order, you would just memorize the names, but then how do you pull them together? But then pull them together gives you transitions that has a lead-in from one movement to the next, or a sort of a combination of techniques. So that's what you're actually learning, is how to move. And while you're developing that, you're developing heightened sensitivity, developing more awareness, you're developing more spatial awareness, you're developing much more coordination, because the hands develop that relationship, the legs develop that relationship from the forward and back, the joints start to become more supple, and the body posture becomes much more balanced. And balance is something that we just think of as just a term. Everything has to be somewhat balanced. Black and white, up and down, right and left, those are balanced. But then what does balance feel like in the body? The body has to recognize the feeling, which is part of proprioception, and your sensory system realizing what that balance is. So just a simple contraction of your muscle has to be balanced to produce the correct speed, the correct joint angle. That's part of all of this. So the musculature has to learn how to create the correct tension. So when we say use your mind and not strength, that means use your mind to detect and understand how much is required to do the movement without excessiveness and without being deficient. So that's really self-cultivation is how that feels. So that sensitivity, that feeling, is something that's not totally tangible in the beginning. And in fact, when it is tangible, you can actually understand it a little bit better. So sometimes I use analogies, but say like stirring a cup of coffee. You put sugar in it or you put something in it, you can feel what it's required to stir it without tipping the cup over or knocking the glass over. You might hold it and stir it more aggressively. But if that fluid was thicker, the viscosity was different, your strength to do that would be a little bit different. And it would change based on that tangible feeling of what you're trying to do. But that becomes part of their intelligence, that you understand that if you did it like this, that wouldn't work. If you did it like this. So that's that experience. When you're doing Tai Chi that's virtual, and you're just feeling the movement based on a spatial awareness, then the whole sensitive level of understanding really is changed, because now you have to bring that feeling and mental imagery into those movements. So that is really that experience, and that's a discovery that you develop over time from what you actually get from movements. So that's really kind of it in a nutshell. But along with that, without movement, you won't have circulation. Without deep breathing, you won't have good circulation. So two of the things that helps protect or boost your immune system is breath and movement, because it works with your lymphatic system. So while we have this pandemic and everyone's concerned, the people that are most concerned are people that have problems with their immune system, or they have pre-existing conditions, whether it's like diabetes they talk about, or obesity. But if you exercise and you maintain this level of breath and movement and doing the deep breathing, your lymphatic system works more efficiently. Now, it doesn't take anything to do that other than time and effort. You're not taking any medication, you're not doing anything out of the ordinary other than spending some time doing that. So really it doesn't cost anything beyond what you normally would do, and it's just something that you can use during your downtime. You're working from home, you have time to do this, just go through it. And that circulation isn't just circulation, it's bringing oxygen, nutrients, everything that you take into the body that supports everything here. So, the whole industry is about what kind of supplements you need, what deficiencies you have, because we don't eat in a balanced way, because we're, not paying attention to that. And most of us don't even know, right? Because you need some nutritionist to tell you this is the way you should eat, or this or that, So it's pretty complicated to be kind of healthy in today's society, so, or in this environment. So really, you have to do what, there's a lot of stuff online about what's good for you to eat and so forth, but we know that we need certain nutrition to support, that circulation, because if you have bad stuff in and you're circulating bad stuff, you're going to have bad stuff going to on a cellular level. And if you don't breathe correctly, and the corona is one of the things that attacks your lungs, so we can imagine what that happens if your lungs are not healthy and you're not breathing right. So, but all of this is all, again, tied to tension. If your body is tense, and it's tense from stress or tense from whatever else it could be, an injury or whatever, your body's not going to be functioning optimally. So anyways, that's enough of that talk. Okay, so we're going to go through the paradigm form. So here we are, going through the motions, taking us in different directions now. This is the Tai Chi Paradigm form, derived from the long Wu Style Tai Chi form, single whip. Hold the ball, shift, diagonal flying, shift. Step up, raise the hand. Bend from the waist, stork flaps wings. Twist step, brush knee, fourth time. Neutral position, turn to the right, back to center, forward. Find your shoulder width stance, close the door. Form the fist and punch. Divert, block, and punch. leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Neutral position, turn. Fist under elbow. Neutral position, repulse the monkey. Repulse the monkey. Third, repulse the monkey. Turn. Diagonal flying. Sit back, insert the needle. Step forward, fan to the back. Turn. Stroke down, parry and punch. Step forward, form the fists. Punch. Divert, lock, and punch. Cross the arms, raise the hand. Stork flaps wings. Turn. Left side grasps the sparrow's tail. Hold the ball. Reverse the ball. Diagonal flying. Sit back. Stroke down. Part the horse's mane. Step up. Stroke down. Part the horse's mane. Cross over, cross corner. Jade lady work shuttle. Cross over. Jade lady work shuttle. Turn back to the front. Hook your wrists. And we're in single whip. Cloud hands. Now this we pivot. So here we have that 90-degree pivot. This is your T stance. We hook the wrists 45-45, open to 90, single whip. Hold the ball, reverse the ball, diagonal flying right side, out to the side, body, step, hands go forward, and close the form. Good. Deep breathing. Inhale. If we think about the Tai Chi movements and what is involved, the right and left side, whether it's upper body or the lower body, it takes a lot of control to do these movements. So you're controlling every aspect of your body, and the more integrated is the change of timing that is really what evolves. So you can imagine motor skill is actually maintained up here. It's programmed up in here. It controls all the neurons, and it controls all the musculature based on what it tells it to do. So if your brain is doing that, it's actually doing a lot of change. So the brain plasticity, the network in your brain is going to be different from the average person that's not using the mind the same way. So the mind-body relationship is really this kind of a thing. So I call it the physical side of intelligence. If you can develop your brain in this way, you're going to, not have as many problems as you get older, and the sharpness of your mind and all that. Other than, I guess if you have a disease, but hopefully when you exercise and you have this, that disease is going to be not something that happens, unless it's part of the DNA. Those things you can't control. The only thing you control is your exercise and your nutrition, because you have options. So a lot of people say, well, if you eat good food, it's expensive, but it's more expensive if you go out to eat. One dinner outside could give you a week of good nutrition. So people say, well, they don't want to buy that, but they'll go out and spend a lot of money dining, and that's really, not that you shouldn't go to restaurants today, but the thing is, you can actually eat better if you cook. That's just the way it is. But it takes work and effort. Everyone says, no, not enough time, but you have to put a little time, otherwise you'll have to pay some of the consequences. Anyways, you got to pay for it some way or other. It's nothing, no free rides. So anyways, let's go through the long form. Okay. And the thing is, a lot of people eat too much, so the volume, so even though it's expensive, if you're only eating a little bit. Okay, ready? The long form. So Nan, this is good for you. Step up. So this is just like the Tai Chi Paradigm. So it's really, learn that form. This is already programmed into your system. Carry tiger to the mountain. Obliques. And your right side, right foot should be forward. And we're going to turn toward the front. In the oblique corner, oblique single whip. Now we pivot around to fist under elbow. Let's wrap it around. Repulse the monkey. Repulse the monkey. So this is done 3 times in each set. And we have 2 sets of these in the long form. Okay. And then we carry tiger to the mountain, which is different in the other form. We open the stance, and then we hold the ball, shift, diagonal flying, shift, step up, release the hand. Bend from the waist, stork flaps wings, and we're going to turn to do one brush knee before we do the insert needle. Step forward, fan through the back, turn. Stroke down, invert the hand, parry and punch. Retreat, step backwards. Divert, block, and punch. Step up. Right side, grasp the sparrow's tail. And anyone following this that doesn't know the long form completely, we only have the right side grasp the sparrow's tail in this form. So the Tai Chi Paradigm has the left side, which is an advantage. This is cloud hands with the jog broken down into 3 pieces and done in 3 sets. This is the 3rd piece of this first set of cloud hands. Single whip. Now we go into the kicks. High pat the horse. This is a toe kick, and it's pointing the toe or using the instep. So instep or toe kick versus the heel kick that happens on the other side. We turn, drop the right hand down, fold the elbows, heel kick, and we're down, brush knee, right side, and then we go to the left. So there's 2 brush knees right after the heel kick. Then we go back, sit back, vertical to horizontal, turn as you're going to do a brush knee, but it turns into a planting punch. Fold the elbows, come to your center, parry and punch, high pat the horse to beat the tiger, open the stance, move the legs, open, stepping, retreating backwards on the diagonal, stroke down, turn 180 degree. Looks like Jade Lady works shadow, but it's the same geometry of position. 2 fists, level the shoulders, open the hands, heel kick right side, 2 punches to the ear, to the temple, cross the arms, left on the top, flip it over, fold the elbows, parting leg, it goes out to the side. It's kind of a crescent kick, and you fold, lift the knee, and the hip opens up, takes you through the center, invert the hand, parry and punch. Form the fist, we step up, the kicks are done, and we're going to repeat this sequence. And we carry tiger to the mountain again. So that's, in the drills, carry tiger to the mountain is this. And we cross the arms. And we stop here, turn to the oblique, and we do the second set of oblique movements. This is like that drill where we did the 180-degree turn with the brush knee, but this, we do it completely 180 degrees. Grasp the sparrow's tail right side again. Typically you go oblique to single whip, but we're going to turn to the front because we have the reverse the ball movement. So some people don't actually do this. But here we have the diagonal flying on the right. And now we have pat the horse's mane 3 times. It's 3 times to the left. Now we have 2 more to complete pat the horse's mane. So we have actually 5 altogether. And here's your last 2. Now we cross corner to do the Jade Lady work shuttle 4 times, each corner. When we get to this second corner, after Jade Lady work shuttle right side, we have part the horse's mane. Now, part the horse's mane leads into cross corner again. So we're just going to do the mirror or the opposite side. So it's the same footwork. Turning. Now we're on the right side now again. So we have Jade Lady work shuttle. And then this corner, we have grasp the sparrow's tail. So grasp the sparrow's tail always happens either in this corner or to this side, and we go back to the front to single whip. And then we have our second set of cloud hands. Okay, that's one grouping. Then we're going to do the left and right again. And then we do the left and right again, so that finishes this grouping. Now that's the second set of cloud hands. And what happens after the second set of cloud hands is the first downward posture. And this first downward posture will take us to the golden cockerel stance on one leg. And that happens on both sides with the kick and thrust reverse. Now here's a second set of repulse the monkeys. So the second set follows the golden cockerel. The first set is from fist under elbow. Now we go to neutral right side, and we carry tiger to the mountain again. And we open the stance. And where does this take us? It takes us into the obliques again. So we have a second set of obliques. Brush knee. Insert the needle. Fan to the back. Turn. So this is all a repeat. Parry and punch. Step forward, form the fist, and punch. Sit back, divert, block, and punch. Step up, grasp the sparrow's tail. And then we're at single whip. And then we're here. 1, 2. This is the third set of cloud hands. So the last, I called them obliques, but actually I misspoke on that. So just in case someone was following, they would say, oh, where's the obliques? Actually, we did the second set already. And then we're at the end of the third set of cloud hands. Now we have this. This is where it kind of changes a little bit to the next phase. This is the single lotus kick. Brush knee. Now we're going to go back to center, and we're going to do the punch down to crotch. That's kind of like the planting punch, but this one goes straight down. The other one was like that. Now we step up, and here's another set of grasp the sparrow's tail. And we go back to single whip. Okay. And what happens here is that we turn to do the second downward posture, and it's kind of draw near to the end of the form. And we step up to 7-star. Okay. We turn to ride the tiger. We step forward, the palm strikes face, and we change the hands and turn to do a double lotus kick. We lift the knee, and then draw bow to shoot tiger. Palm strikes face, and we turn. Parry and punch. We step up, palm strikes face. change the hands, high pat the horse. That's that spreading movement. Grasp the sparrow's tail, right side. You notice all the grasp the sparrow's tails on the right side. All the single whips are on the right side. Then we hold the ball, just like in the paradigm form, in reverse, and we close. And we step backwards, 1, 2, 3. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Any questions? Mm-hmm. So how do you feel? So we have a couple of, long-term students here and there just dropped in. Even though we're streaming the live classes on Tuesday and Saturday mornings, we just opened up about 2 weeks ago. So it's been light, and so anyone that wants to join in on the streaming, as long as we can keep the social distancing, you're welcome to come and do it in the morning if you're here on Thursday. Get a few people. People watching actually appreciate seeing other people doing it, because that sort of authenticates that I have actually a couple of students that I'm not just here in my living room. So anyways, you have any questions? So if you gained some insight on some of the things that we've been doing? Tai Chi is one of these things that a lot of people don't understand, the real benefits, because no one really talks about it. People just do it like anyone else that goes to a gym. They exercise. They know they get a physical workout, and they get, the benefits of actually exercising. So any kind of exercise is fine, whatever, suits your fancy. But the thing is, younger people like certain types of things, middle-aged people like certain things, and older people like certain things. But so you have to do the appropriate exercise for you. Now, older people, I don't think you should do what the younger people do as an exercise, because it causes too much inflammation and it works the muscles differently. So your body doesn't recover like a young person does. Because when you work out, hard, and you want to build muscle tissue and change your body form, your body goes through transformations, but it does break down muscle tissue for it to rebuild. So that rebuilding process doesn't happen as well as you're older, because your body's not, keeping up with it all the time. So if you haven't been exercising a long time and all of a sudden you jump into an exercise routine, most of the time you're going to get pretty sore because your muscle's going through that, so you can't do it every day. And then if you do some type of stretching routine that's excessive, you're going to be sore so long that it defeated the purpose. So a lot of times you have to really understand exercise has to be done a specific way. What's less taxing, that's why people that study martial arts, a lot of times they do the physical stuff when they're younger, and then they gravitate into Tai Chi and some of the slower exercise type of things. But it still works the brain, and in fact, Tai Chi is even more complicated, some of the physical sides of it, because the physical side of it, you just want results. But on the intrinsic side of Tai Chi, the depth of knowledge and what you're doing really becomes quite different. And along with that is, the discovery. People don't think that you discover, when you just do an exercise, you won't get the same mental discovery that you have, because this is a journey, and the long process really allows you to evolve tremendously. So discovery is not only in research and development, and in the legal world they do a lot of discovery, but the thing is we have discovery in everything that we do. It's whether you do it long enough to figure out that there is a difference. Discovery has to determine whether there's differences or not. And you can't actually determine the differences if you don't really understand enough about it. So that's the problem with people first picking up Tai Chi. They say, well, it's too long, it's too hard, it's too slow, something I can't learn, because you haven't gone through a process where you develop movements that enter long-term memory. One of the few things that we develop that becomes a long-term memory thing that you don't forget is like riding a bike. Everyone says, once you learn how to ride a bike, you'll never forget. And you don't, because it's been programmed into your system. But definitely, if you don't ride a bike for a long time since you were a child, you're not as good and you're not as agile on the bike. So I wouldn't, go out on the roads today. You go on the pathways, because cars are pretty vicious, and if your reflexes are not there and you're not very stable, you're going to have an accident. So even then, you have to be careful. But if you've been riding all along, I see people, senior citizens riding bikes everywhere, and because they've been doing it, they're good at it. I was just thinking of riding from here to home because it's only a mile. But I've been walking it. But I have an old bike that I think I should maybe. Yeah. So my daughter's in New York, so she started riding a bike to work because she doesn't want to take. Well, it's only a mile, but she doesn't want to go on the metro because the train, because it's they clean it and everything, but it's just a hassle. So, anyways, so the linear form is actually very good for your own image. So if you have a mirror at home, or if you come here, we have lots of mirrors here, so you can just focus on your own movements. Because seeing yourself, that muscle memory that we talk about is real. It does happen. And that muscle memory, I know from my own experience that once it's programmed in your system, and that's all martial arts works off of that concept. Muscle memory, and muscle memory, people think, well, it's just muscle memory. But muscle memory is really skeletal memory. Your skeleton is what it's being maneuvered. So your body will recognize that. Just like misalignment of body becomes a skeleton memory. If you're misaligned all the time, it grows and forms that position because the musculature adapts. And when it adapts, that feels like the norm. So a lot of things that we do, whether it's the joints, if we don't move those joints, we don't know that it's not relaxed. We don't know that the ankle folds. We don't know the hip. We don't know that we're leaning back. We don't know we're tilted like that because we've gone through what has become the norm. If you're always slouched over like this and you come in and people don't realize that they're lopsided because they can't see themselves. So they feel okay, but it's really not good because over time your body is imbalanced. So one thing about doing what we're doing now is there is some balance in the musculature. We do the side bends, the forward bends, and so forth, and the circles, all of that stuff, because I think movement is the key to avoiding conflict and tension. So to avoid the conflict and tension, you have to learn to eradicate the tension. So we call that to relax typically. But what does relax? Release the tension in the joint. That's really what has to happen. So that tension is innate. Stress causes it. A lot of things cause tension. Injuries cause tension, locks you up. But stress is one of the big ones. It causes you to, not feel comfortable because, and what happens when you're stressed and you create tension, your breathing gets compromised because this area needs to be relaxed to breathe. And when people get tense, it's here, right? It's here. You can't breathe because it doesn't move. So, anyways, on that note, I think it's about time, right, Lucien? Right on time. So, subscribe. Go to YouTube. Do what you can. Practice as much as you can. It's all archived. So do that, and hopefully you can improve. You can send us emails and so forth. We have a new program. It's called what's it called? The Patreon. So if you go to a website, it's called the Patreon, and it's something that you can. That's actually joining a membership, but that's for people that are more serious or they want to do something to support what we're doing. Other than that, you can still just go to YouTube. It's a free thing. So